Awesome, guys. So our next conversation is going to be on NFTs. So I hope you guys are just as excited as I am. But regardless, NFTs have enabled a digital art revolution. But why are they essential in this new world? This next panel discussion will dive into the future of NFTs and their multiple purposes. Please help me welcome panelists, founder and CEO of Artcryption, Vandana Shah, CEO of Tempo NFT Studio, Roger Chabra, founder of NFT, Jordan Fried, and our moderator, CEO of Rosenzweig and company, Jay Rosenzweig.
I think I'm over here. That's you. You guys get chairs. Good morning, everyone. My name is Jay Rosenzweig, and I'm the founder of Rosenzweig and Company. Our firm designs, builds, and attracts world-class teams for companies large and small. I'm the chair of the Raoul Wallenberg Center for Human Rights, and I'm on the board of a number of other nonprofits, including the Black North Initiative. And I help founders of emerging tech businesses to scale up. And it's gotten to the point now where I'm on the board of and board of advisors of and have shares in dozens of emerging tech businesses, including several in the Web3 space. And I'm really, really happy to be here. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to each of the panelists to introduce themselves and a little bit about sort of their involvement in the NFT/Web3 space. So over to you, Vandana.
Hi, I'm Vandana Shah. I'm an entertainment and IP lawyer, art agent, and the founder of Artcryption. Artcryption's a platform that helps with certifying, selling, sharing NFTs. We're very much focused on safety in the space and legal compliance. I got into NFTs back in 2018. I'm on a number of boards related to working with artists, so my platform is really just an extension of what I'm already doing in the legal space.
Amazing. Roger?
Hi, everybody. I'm Roger Chabra. I'm the CEO of Tempo NFT Studio. I have a long kind of a resume in tech on both the operator and investor side. Tempo, the best way to think about us is we are a studio or agency that work with athletes, celebrities, and brands that are a big deal in the Web2 space, but are not yet a big deal in the Web3 space. So it's certainly an interesting strategic challenge to move people with millions of fans in the old world to the new world.
Fantastic. I've been watching your journey, and it's incredibly impressive. Keep it up. Over to you, Jordan.
I'm Jordan Fried. I'm the CEO of NFT.com and the chairman of a publicly traded company here in Toronto called Immutable Holdings. We're a blockchain holding company. Building a few things in the space. I actually grew up in Buffalo, New York, and it's really good to be back here in Toronto, where we used to run away from to get out of Buffalo.
Well, welcome to Toronto. Welcome to Canada. I love that. Maybe we'll start with you, Jordan. How about defining, if you can, the metaverse and really what NFTs have to do with all of it?
Yeah, I'd offer up a contrarian definition, or I would just say a different definition than what I'm seeing out in the market today. Who here has heard of the Metaverse? I assume you have. Is this venue called the Metaverse venue at this conference,
Yeah.
right? We're kind of like in the Metaverse venue. I think everybody, if you were to ask every single person in this room, I think the issue is a lot of us would offer up totally different definitions of how we're defining what is the Metaverse. I think there's a generation of people growing up online that have invested a lot into their online identities. I grew up in a day and age where I used to play an MMORPG called RuneScape. Has anyone heard of RuneScape? Yeah, it was like an awesome MMORPG when we were growing up, and we were really invested in our characters. You'd get picks and shovels and swords and shields, and you try to cut down trees and kill other people in the wilderness. And if you look at it, we're really approaching a period in time where our digital lives are quickly becoming very, very valuable to us, and potentially even more valuable than our in real life lives. You have headlines like someone just purchased a Gucci bag in Roblox for $4,000, or people are spending millions of dollars on NFTs. It's not too far of like a dystopian future to think of someone's going to spend more on a shirt for their virtual character than an NFT shirt or an NFT pants or cool NFT shoes. This is my favorite shoe guy, John Geiger. Love him, and if they had NFT shoes for my avatar, I may buy his NFT shoe and dress up like that. So I think the definition I would offer up is NFTs are one, they're tools that we'd have to assign property rights in the metaverse, and two, the metaverse is less of a destination and more a point in time where our online self will be worth more than our physical in-person self.
Yeah, it's beginning to happen. It's quite amazing. Well, on that note, maybe I'll turn to you, Vandana. How have you and Artcryption engaged with the metaverse and some of your favorite places in the metaverse?
Yeah, no, so, with selling NFTs, going into the metaverse, you can, see galleries, you can see retail stores, you can see, pretty much anything, a virtual twin of the physical space. So at Artcryption, we've purchased real estate in Decentraland, Crypto Voxel, Sandbox, and we're seeing a lot of brands enter these spaces. We're seeing Sotheby's opening up a gallery in Decentraland. We're seeing live events, whether it's a music concert or a gallery. And so we've built a gallery in Crypto Voxels. We're getting one made in some of these other spaces. We're very actively real estate shopping, so to speak, in these virtual spaces to really show a new way to transact business in a virtual space.
That sounds great. Roger, you talked about Web2 and transferring Web2 into Web3. I find it really astonishing that you have these Web2 celebrities with millions and millions of followers. And they launched these projects even before the bear market. And a lot of them turned out to frankly be busts. Like what accounts for that, and how do you transfer these celebrities with big followings into a successful endeavor within the Web3 space?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot wrapped up in that question, and I obviously live it and think about it and fight that fight on a daily basis. It's, the initial adopters in the NFT world or in the crypto world were a very unique, segment of people. And, I give this analogy that you wouldn't walk into someone's house with muddy shoes, right? And we've got celebrities that are jumping in with their projects without doing anything to give back to the community. And the community is such like a cult-like community, and they're very protective of what they've built.
Right.
I mean, we're seeing this change as we transition to the mainstream and the use cases get more broad. But celebrities coming in looking just for the money grab, which is what happened in the first, kind of iterations, where people were left, holding spinning GIFs and 30-second audio clips that were worth nothing, 3 weeks after they launched, kind of just broke the market for everybody. And so, the way that we really advocate is you have to build the community, and you have to give before you get. And you have to be very strategic and thoughtful, and you have to be authentic about it. You can't, take on a new persona just to fit what's going on in the cultish-like Web3 world. You have to be authentically yourself. And that, requires a lot of thinking and a lot of experimenting and a lot of trying of different things.
Well, the bear market has made it even more challenging. So I'll continue with you, Roger. Like,
Yeah.
how within that context do you continue to build, and is it a little bit different than it was pre-bear market?
It's, it's tough. It's really tough. The bottom has fallen out of the market. And, it's people like us and the celebrities and athletes and brands we work with, you're all in. Once you've dropped a token, you can't pull that token back. And people expect value, right? So you have to find ways to provide value back to the community. I mean, from a tactical standpoint, we're scaling back the number of tokens that we drop. Gone are the days of these 10,000K PFP projects. We're scaling them back. In some cases, it's 1,000 or 2,000, and we're taking a longer-term approach to building up a community to 10,000, 50,000 over time. Other tactical things that we're doing is we're being more, transparent about the roadmaps that we're putting in front of people. So gone are the days of, here, buy this ape, and you will get magical value in the future. Consumers don't want that anymore. They want, we're in a world of inflation and, people constricting their belts, and people want to understand what they're buying before they're giving you that, 0.15 ETH or whatever it is.
Jordan, what advice would you give to those in the audience who haven't really dipped into the NFT or Metaverse space, or the Web3 space in general, and they might be interested somehow in dipping their toe in from an investment point of view or whatever? What path would you suggest they take if they're really novices and want to learn more?
Yeah, I think it's a really overwhelming space to
Yeah.
try to come into if you are not yet invested in it, right? I mean,
Yeah.
we're at a point in time where you have 20,000 different publicly traded coins. As Roger said, once you throw a coin or a token or an NFT out there, you cannot pull that back.
Right.
These blockchains are internet native. You're talking about turning all the nodes on these networks off or turning the internet itself off to sort of stop powering them. Maybe I'll sort of talk about what we've seen happen in the space where we kind of think we are. I think in there, I think you'll see the opportunity. But Web 1 was like the read, Web 2 is like the read and the write, and Web 3 is really the own. And what the opportunity that like presents itself most right now is to become a stakeholder, become a voice in these communities and help steer them. I think that the best investments are ones where you don't just invest your money, but you invest your money and your time. Where I don't just buy an ape, but I join the ape community and I'm taking the intellectual property behind my Bored Ape, and I'm now launching, I literally saw this, it's like the shredded ape pre-workout. Has anyone seen this? It's like a shredded ape, it's a pre-workout, it's a branded ape.
Yeah.
He's jacked, much better shape than I'm in. He's like jacked on this pre-workout. It's like a pre-workout supplement. And other people have taken their apes and they've started businesses. And all of this really adds to the network effects of the community. It brings more attention to what the Bored Apes are. Every new person, the net promoter score of someone that holds a Bored Ape is off the charts. Every Bored Ape holder either makes it their profile picture or tells someone else to go buy a Bored Ape, and these communities work so long as that happens. After all, isn't that why Bitcoin is Bitcoin, right? Someone bought Bitcoin and the net promoter score of Bitcoin's more than CrossFit and veganism. They just don't stop talking about Bitcoin. They want to promote it. So from my perspective, how people can get involved, you can join these decentralized communities. You can join, you were telling me before we came on stage, Roger, I'll shill I thought it because it was interesting. Miguel, the artist that you work with, has this cool tokenized community, and you can join, but what would be cool is not just buying that token and joining that community, but effectively contributing to make that community more valuable. And
Right.
I think that there's a number of ways, whether you're a PR person or a comms person or a business development person, there are ways that you can help make those communities work. That's the approach we took with NFT.com, trying to decentralize that. I think that's the approach every community will have to take.
Yeah.
I just want to add on to that. I couldn't agree more with what he's saying. If you want to do something in Web3 for your brand or for yourself, the best way to do that, to answer your question, is to get involved. And guess what? Everything's on sale right now, right? Like prices are down.
That's a great.
And I'll tell you tactically that, for Miguel, we just hired our community manager out of our Discord. I had cycled through a bunch of community managers, and they were all amazing, great credentialed people. But we ended up hiring now a community manager out of the community, and that person now has a pretty decent Web3 job, right? And that's the way I learned, and how I transitioned from Web2 to Web3 is I just bought into the projects that I was interested in. And, some of them are not, but the knowledge is invaluable, right? So just, again, everything's on sale. Just find something that you think is interesting, jump in, and don't be afraid to speak up.
Yeah, and maybe just to piggyback on that, the one thing I'd say is in terms of how we value it, one, do your own financial research, seek your own financial advice, and actually a lot of the stuff that people are being sold in the market is crap and it's dangerous.
Right.
In that lies some things of real value, real substantive, community-led, true decentralized initiatives that don't meet the classifications of what a security is, that are real efforts. I do think the Yacht Club, the Bored Ape Yacht Club, falls into that category. I think what the Doodles are doing is tremendous, and these are whole ecosystems that are opening up. Make sure that whatever you're buying, if it's an NFT, that you own the intellectual property behind that NFT, that you can take that image and you can use that, and it's a valuable image. One, don't buy an NFT unless you're comfortable being stuck with it for 5 years. I think that's like the rule of thumb.
I think that's right.
You got to buy it and you got to understand that you're going to hold it. And then two, make sure that there's other active people. These communities are only valuable proportionate to the network effects. How many other people are in it? Who cares deeply about it? What are the things that could cause this community to completely disappear and go away? And the best communities are really ideal driven. Like, hey, we're keto and kosher. or we really give a shit about, I don't know, X, Y, and Z, and like this is our direction. And those communities are going to continue to exist.
I think you're right. I think a lot of it depends on one's motivation as well. I mean, maybe you're an art lover, you're a digital art lover, and it's not necessarily about the money, and you want to support an artist. Others are more in it for the investment, could be both, but motivation's a big part of it. The other thing Roger touched on, which I think is great, hiring a community manager out of the Discord. One thing I'd advise those that are really interested in getting deep into this space is you have to put in the time. I sort of fell into this space having put in a bunch of time in Clubhouse. Now Twitter Spaces is the place to be. It's a matter of putting in the time, joining Discords, listening a lot, and participating in discussions and offering value when you can.
True. I'm just going to jump in here, though,
Sure.
just from a legal perspective. There's a lot of scams in the space, so everything you guys are saying is, completely dead on. But there's a lot of hackers, there's a lot of scams, and I think it's important to, when you're looking for an NFT or you're looking for that project you want to invest in, to make sure, is it authentic? There's a lot of copycats, IP infringement. So you want to go, straight to the celebrity's Twitter or their website and see, have they actually released an NFT before you buy it? You want to be careful of your MetaMask, your crypto wallet. You want to make sure that you remember your, secret key and your recovery phrase. And there's a lot of phishing attacks. In fact, OpenSea, back earlier this year, January 27th, they put out a tweet saying 80% of the NFTs that they are selling are scams and frauds. And that's a real problem in the space. And I think it's going to be very difficult to onboard people with that going on. And we need safety, we need KYC, we need compliance, we need proper terms. We need to understand when you're buying that NFT, what are you getting? What are the legal rights attached to it? Are you getting the IP, the commercial rights? Are you just getting that JPEG? There's a whole host of other issues, and I think that's what we're going to be seeing in the future, is seeing, sort of these issues being resolved. That's what we're doing at Artcryption, is really solving these issues and making the place a much safer place to go.
So I agree with that. I think the other thing we just have to recognize, because we're in a bubble here, obviously macro bubble, we're talking, that's correcting, but I mean the world that we live in is, maybe one more time, just how many people here have actually purchased an NFT? Like you own an NFT right now. Okay, so if you look around the room, it's not that many people. In the entire world, there's 10 million people who have purchased an NFT. So if you look at the entire universe of people that have blockchain
That
accounts,
even sounds like a lot based on my assumptions, but I know it's a really small amount.
It's really,
Yeah,
really
yeah,
small.
yeah.
We're fighting, all the people launching NFT marketplaces are
great
fighting
point.
over 10 million people. The
Right.
daily active user numbers are like nothing, and they've corrected 98%, so now it's really nothing. So if you really look at how early we are and where we are, the technology is going to continue to exist. It has to evolve in the way that it's being utilized. What Roger said is dead on. Art for the sake of art NFTs are not going to exist anymore. You can't just do a cool PFP, profile picture collection of a picture of monkeys and hope that it gains wildfire. It has to shift. So 300 million total blockchain users globally. We got to get that number over 1 billion. At the current growth
100%.
trajectory, we'll get there in 2-3 years. And then you need 10% of them to have NFTs. So NFTs will be a thing again. It'll come back. Everyone here will own one. Likely your entry into this event is going to be an NFT at some point in the future, or the title deed to your watch, or my tickets to the Buffalo Bills, go Bills, or something like that, right? But we're so stupidly early. So I agree with the regulation, all of that. But we actually just need users. We just need users of NFTs. No one is really using NFTs right now.
But I think we're seeing a shift, if I can just add to this,
Sure.
is, we talked about Bored Ape, and I actually see that as an IP lawyer and entertainment lawyer as a perfect example of what we're going to see in the future with an NFT. It's not just going to be about selling that art or JPEG, but if you look at what Yuga Labs has done with Bored Apes, is they've gone into pretty much every kind of IP licensing stream, whether it's movies, merchandising, fashion, shoes, candy, like everything. And so I think we're going to start seeing that. So if you're a creator and you've got a piece of music or an artist or whatever the case may be, you're not going to be able to use the NFTs to really monetize and diversify your IP portfolio to be, turning it into a movie. Like we've got Reese Witherspoon with the project with NFT and women, and that's also kind of stretched out. So I think we're going to see a lot of exciting things of ways for creators to monetize more than just the way that you would normally create. And the other thing that's really great is the whole concept of royalties and the ability to get those royalties using smart contracts. For artists, it's resale royalties. For a celeb or whoever, it's like now when you're selling something, you get to get that royalty back when it's resold and resold. And normally we don't see that. We don't see that transaction history on the blockchain. So I think it's an exciting space. We've got some cautionary things. I think we're seeing some new business models. But it's exciting, and I'm looking forward to seeing what's happening next.
Yeah,
so I was just going to say quickly, like everything that we're talking is our job. Like the consumer doesn't give a shit. They don't care. Like you don't go on Instagram and post a photo and like there's JavaScript running it and or there's Solidity running on the blockchain. Nobody cares about what an NFT is. They care about what the use case is, right? That's what's exciting. So even like tickets as NFTs, no, just tickets.
Yeah.
Right? But hey, they come with a digital collectible that I can keep and either just show people that I was at this conference or at the Post Malone show tonight, or it's something I want to trade in the future because there was only 1,000 dropped randomly at the concert. It's not an NFT. It's a use case that's attached to something that we provide,
But it says that
value
you were
to.
early. It says I was a Post Malone fan in 2022, and I was here at this point in time.
But yeah.
I want to own that.
You want to keep it or you want to trade it? It doesn't matter,
And
right?
I want
the
bragging
NFT,
rights on the blockchain.
But
that
I
says
don't
I was
care.
with Post Malone in 2022.
Like all of this stuff is all valid, but it's all our jobs to take care of it. Like KYC,
That's right.
you'll help me with that.
Yeah.
You'll help me distribute the NFTs. I'll build the NFTs. But to the consumer, it's just got to be a use case.
I think we're going to be better off when down the road Web3 won't be in our vernacular, and even the term NFT won't be in our vernacular. To your point, Jordan, really we're talking about mass adoption, because without mass adoption we're not getting anywhere. Our little bubble, to your point, is not going to make it unless we have mass adoption.
And the only way you get that is if you can give a user onboarded with $5 in under 5 minutes.
Exactly.
And we're not there.
Exactly. But some of the firms that I'm invested in and advising are really working on that and are really doing a favor for all of us in this space. Like OneOf has been doing a lot of work with eBay, and people are able to purchase their NFTs in an uncomplicated way with credit cards. I know Roger's doing that kind of thing as well. Yeah. That's the kind of thing we need to take this web thing into the next sphere, and I think it'll happen. But we need leaders like you, all three of you, to help us along the way. We've got 8 seconds. I think that was nice and tight. Really appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.